You have made this soup 100 times. Open the can, fill it with water, pour both into a pot. Heat. You have never questioned why you are doing the factory's job for them. Every other soup on the shelf is ready to eat. This one makes you add half the product yourself. The water you pour in is free. So, what did you actually pay for inside that can? In 1897, a 24-year-old chemist realized that soup's heaviest ingredient is water, and water costs money to ship. Remove the water before it leaves the factory, and the can weighs half as much, ships for half the cost, and retails at a price that puts soup in every kitchen in America. He was earning $7.50 a week. He ended up buying the company. John T. Dorrance walked into the Joseph Campbell Preserve Company with a doctorate from Göttingen and a degree from MIT. His uncle Arthur ran the place. The salary was $7.50 a week. The company canned vegetables and sold a few soups in heavy glass jars that cost more to ship than they were worth. Dorrance had studied in Europe, where families ate soup daily. In France, bouillon cubes squeezed flavor into tiny packages, but the result tasted like salted cardboard. The flavor vanished with the water. Dorrance looked at the same problem differently. The cubes failed because they removed everything. What if you removed only the water and kept the compounds that made soup taste like soup? Within a year, he had 5 varieties: tomato, consommé, vegetable, chicken, oxtail. He sold them door to door. The smaller cans shipped at half the cost. Retailers stacked twice as many on the same shelf. A can sold for a dime, less than a loaf of bread. Dorrance split every recipe into 2 documents. One listed ingredients with exact weights. The other held the cooking directions. Each went to a separate department. No single employee ever saw a complete recipe. The company became profitable for the first time. By 1914, the $7.50 chemist was president. By 1921, the company had a new name, Campbell's Soup. Built on one idea: the customer adds the water. That idea created a chemistry problem the factory still solves every day. How do you remove water from soup without removing what makes it taste like soup? Water is not neutral. It holds dissolved amino acids that create savory depth. It holds sugars that balance acidity. And it holds volatile aromatic compounds, the molecules responsible for the smell that hits you when you open the can. These volatiles are the first to leave when water evaporates. Heat the soup too fast, and the aromatics boil off with the steam. What comes back when you add water at home is flat and dull and tastes like the inside of the can. The process begins with raw ingredients. Vegetables are washed, inspected, and chopped. Tomatoes are processed at harvest and stored as pulp, so the factory runs year-round. Meats are cooked and seasoned separately. Stocks are built from scratch in large kettles. These components are combined into a full-strength soup and brought to temperature. Then the reduction begins. Temperature stays below a hard boil. The goal is to drive off water molecules while keeping volatile flavor compounds dissolved in the remaining liquid. This is the line the factory walks. Too much heat and the soup loses its smell. Too little evaporation and the water activity stays high enough for bacteria. Roughly half the water is removed. What remains is a concentrated base about twice the strength of the soup you eat. That concentrate is what you paid for. The can on your shelf holds everything the factory kept when it took the water out. The water you add from the tap is free. Campbell's does not sell soup. It sells soup minus its heaviest, cheapest ingredient. That single insight turned a failing cannery into the largest soup company on Earth because it cut freight costs in half and halved the shelf space every can occupied. The concentrated soup is pumped into the steel cans and sealed. Each can enters a retort, a pressurized steam chamber that sterilizes the contents above 115 degrees Celsius. Retort processing runs hotter and faster than standard water bath canning, which means less total heat exposure and less flavor breakdown. The sealed can emerges shelf-stable for years without refrigeration or preservatives. Quality control runs throughout. Campbell's contracts farmers to grow specific crop varieties. Professional chefs taste at multiple stages. Each soup requires a different reduction ratio. Tomato loses water at a different rate than chicken noodle because starch in noodles absorbs moisture and thickens differently than tomato pulp. Cream of mushroom is the most complex, balancing dairy solids, mushroom extract, and a roux thickener that must survive both concentration and retort without breaking. Pick up the can in your cupboard. Find the serving size. It says about 2.5 servings. Nobody eats 2/5 of a can of soup. You eat the whole thing. 1 can of cream of mushroom holds roughly 870 milligrams of sodium per serving, multiplied by 2.5, over 2,000 milligrams in one bowl, nearly the full daily recommended limit. In 1989, the FTC caught Campbell's running ads implying their soups reduced heart disease risk. Low fat, yes, loaded with sodium. Campbell's lowered sodium across its range in 2008. Sales dropped. In 2011, the company added salt back. There is a floor below which people will not buy. The sodium returned because that is what sold. In November 2025, a Campbell's executive was recorded calling the company's products highly processed food for poor people. He said the meat was bioengineered and came from a 3D printer. The employee who released the recording was fired. He sued. The executive was dismissed. Campbell's stock dropped 7%. $684 million gone in days. 2.5 billion bowls consumed every year. Over 1 million cans daily. The red and white label unchanged since 1898. 100 million Americans reach for that can every week. One executive called it garbage. The can did not flinch. It has survived 125 years. 2 world wars, Andy Warhol. And now the people who make it saying out loud what the label never would. Flip the can around. Not the front, the back. Find the sodium line. Find servings per can. Multiply. That number is what you are actually eating when you finish the bowl. Condensed soup is cheaper per serving than ready to eat because you supply the water, but the sodium is concentrated. When you add water, you dilute it. When you use cream of mushroom straight in a casserole, as millions do, you get the full concentrated dose with no dilution. The sodium you see on the label is per serving. The sodium you eat is per can. The healthy request line averages 410 milligrams per serving. American Heart Association certified. Less than half the sodium of the standard cream varieties. Same shelf, same size, different label. One sentence to take to the store. Read the sodium per can, not per serving. If it passes 1,000, that bowl holds half a day's salt. The can does not hide it. It just counts on you not doing the math. 1 can, add water. A chemist's idea from 1897. He removed the water. 125 years later, you are still adding it back. That is the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there is something you would like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.